10 game-breaking Minecraft mods. The Immersive Portal mod allows you the ability to see seamlessly throughout portals without any form of loading screens. You can see the other side of your nether portal regardless of wherever you are in the world, and whenever you go through, aside from a gradual lag spike, you can actually go through without dealing with any form of actual loading screen, as it currently loads the chunk on the other side of the portal. The big thing that can potentially cause a game to break with this mod is the fact that it's not really too compatible with things such as shaders and Optifine and mods such as those ones, the optimization mods, as well as the fact whenever you do light a portal in the Immersive Portal mod, it can potentially lag out your game to the point where it might crash. 9 times out of 10 it will survive through this, but there will always be a ginormous lag spike depending on what your computer can handle. Moving on to the no queues mod, the no queues mod is pretty self-explanatory. It removes all forms of queues from the Minecraft and smooths out the entire world. Now overall this is a mod that was overall fine, but it can break some key mechanics in Minecraft as it changes up how mining functions and how you break blocks in the actual world. Instead of being able to go through and just do your normal thing, mining down to bedrock level and all these other bits and pieces along those lines to get your loot and stuff in mining, it kind of just makes it a little bit more difficult and a little bit more confusing because of how the curved walls kind of mixes together. Sometimes it makes entire sense and it looks pretty obvious on how to get down there, and sometimes it can be entirely confusing, showing ramps and blocks in positions where there isn't actually any form of block whatsoever. But some more interesting information about the no queues mod is it actually doesn't really affect your FPS too much. In fact, sometimes it is so optimized that on certain configurations it might also be better than vanilla's typical rendering system, so that could also be something interesting about that as it breaks the game to the point where it's better. Moving on to a mod known as 𝓵𝓲𝓷𝓴𝓼, this mod is kind of game breaking in a way that's different to the last two. Instead of physically breaking the game itself or stretching the limits of what Minecraft can handle or changing some key things with Minecraft, this just kind of adds in some awesome gear that is a bit overpowered for how easily you can get it, as all it requires is, well, the farming of blaze, because you use the blaze rods and blaze powder to create the blaze stone, which you can use to craft the better armor. There are some aspects to the blaze stone tools that are weaker than what Netherite can bring to the table, but there's also other aspects that are just far more unique and potentially far more useful than what Netherite can also offer. For example, your knockback resistance is lower than Netherite armor, but you also are immune to certain things such as fire and on hot floor damage from magma blocks or even just for normal flames overall, as well as that the weapons and tools also have the ability to inflict fire aspect damage on top of the typical thing, as well as the pickaxe can auto smelt ores. Overall, it's dependent on your own opinion here. Personally speaking, from me as well as the comment section from a previous video I featured this mod in, it is a slight on the overpowered side in comparison to how easily you can attain it, but at the end of the day, that's just what you do sometimes for the fun of it. Moving on, we've got the physics mod. Now I've showcased this one on multiple different occasions, and I'm pretty sure you can understand why this is kind of one of those game-breaking mods, as it adds an entirely new physics engine to Minecraft. And if you go for the pro version, which costs a little bit of money to support them on Patreon, but overall you get a whole bunch of new awesome more game-breaking things such as more fabric move and fluidity, but also some beta variants of the actual liquid physics that this guy's trying to create for this mod. So overall, a collection of different amazing things for the physics engine, as well as some things that are pretty interesting that could also cause a metric ton of lag if you're not careful when playing around with this mod. Moving into our next mod, we have a mod known as Slashplay. This is a mod that adds in the DMC-ish katana to the game, as well as a bunch of other beautiful cool things. This is kind of a fan work of Demon Blade, DMC, and PSO2, which I'm not understanding of all of it. Sorry, apologies to those people if I butcher things. But ultimately, it's just a collection of cool, awesome new things to be added into the game that ultimately have some amazing animations to accompany it. But again, weak computers might not be able to handle it. It also is a bit of a strong set of weapons that might be easy to attain. So overall, it's kind of an awesome mod that kind of just leans on the outside of what Minecraft is, but that's okay. Moving into our next mod, we've got a mod known as mining gadgets. Now, I'm pretty sure you may have heard of this mod before, but it adds in a collection of new mining tools that are extremely powerful when it comes to Minecraft. There is one little side effect to this, as it does require the use of forge energy, which does mean you may potentially need to get some other mods installed in order to generate this energy to use for these weapons and tools, but overall gives you some pickaxes, some drills, bores, robots, and quarries, as well as a bunch of new awesome things that can allow you to just mine things far more efficiently and far faster in comparison to the average Minecraft. This is game breaking in a way that, well, it completely removes part of the mining aspect in the late game. Of course, you'll still have to mine to get a collection of materials originally, but at a certain point you'll have a collection of tools that'll allow you to easily mine up a lot of items at once, which can pretty much, well, get rid of that side of the game almost entirely for you, which again, it's up to your opinion on whether you think that's game breaking or not. Moving into our next mod, we have a mod known as dynamic trees. This adds in a huge collection of different and new custom variant trees that look far different to your typical vanilla way of trees. It also has in a new feature that allows you to pretty much take down trees by taking down only a single log in the tree, and then it falls down, giving you everything that tree has to offer. Overall, there isn't too much lag breaking about this game. It can definitely be some interesting things from time to time, depending on how many trees you try to break at once, if you really want to have a bit of fun trying to do that. But ultimately, it kind of just changes up Minecraft entirely. Technically speaking, it could be considered game breaking, as it removes a lot of the vanilla tree aspects that you see in day-to-day Minecraft and gives you a whole new style of trees that you can deal with. Whilst they tend to try and mimic typical vanilla trees, they are slightly different in many ways as well. Moving into our next mod, we have the mod known as Remastered. This one's kind of game breaking in a way that it completely breaks your typical normality on how you attempt to beat Minecraft. Instead of your typical mindset of killing some endermen, getting some e-bells, heading to the nether, getting a bunch of blaze powder, then heading to the stronghold after that, this mod actually requires you to explore the world far more by getting one single eye of every single style of eye there is to collect. And each style of eye can only spawn in a certain style of structure, meaning that you have to go to multiple different dungeon loots to collect every single eye you need to activate this new and improved ender portal, as well as adding a bunch of new structures to the game and so much more. It just is a massive overhaul in how you actually gain access to the end and beat the Ender Dragon, changing up everything that you may or may not know about Minecraft. Moving into our next mod, we've got a mod known as Double Slabs. Now, I showcased this in the Cursed mod video a few days ago, and ultimately the reason why this is game breaking to Minecraft, because this adds in a certain feature that Mojang absolutely refused to actually add. Not only does it add the ability to have vertical slabs, it also allows the ability to have two different types of slabs on top of each other within a one block space, ultimately giving you some very interesting looking results, but it also can be very useful for creating some more unique and cool style builds that you may not have been able to do without these type of slabs beforehand. But again, it's only game breaking in the sense that it completely breaks the rules by Mojang. The fact that Mojang absolutely refused to do these type of slabs in typical Minecraft kind of gives it its own unique, this is game breaking type of effect. Oh, and also vertical campfires. They look absolutely stupid, but you can do it. Moving into our next mod, we've got the mod known as the Epic Siege mod. Now, whilst this mod hasn't actually seen an update since June of last year and hasn't really gone post 1.12, this mod is still such a fun one to play around with regardless of that fact, as it completely changes how mobs function in Minecraft. Instead of them just solely aiming to kill you on an individual basis, except for zombies, they all will now work together in order to not only kill you, but to kill the villagers that you may be hiding away. Creepers will now act, instead of trying to blow you up, will now act to try and blow up walls that you may potentially be hiding behind, as well as leaving fire behind in their explosions. Skeletons have a far better accuracy rate and hurt a lot more. Spiders can now web their victims to the ground, and so many other game-changing aspects to mobs that make them far more dangerous to play around with, that make it just a lot more difficult for you to verse them. Anyway, click this video on screen now to go check out some more underrated Minecraft mods, and until next time guys, goodbye!